All right. Kind of funny that the Eagles' new kid in town is playing because even though I've done a ton of aquariums in my life and a whole bunch of planted ones, knock it off, kids. The dogs and cats are going nuts. This is my first planted dirted tank, and I did a dry start method. Sorry about all the in and out and all that BS, but my first time doing a dirted tank, and it seemed very straightforward. I read Dinah Wallstead's book. I read up on a whole bunch of Tom Barr because of her, and this is, I guess, the result of my stupidity or just not realizing what everything took. But anyway, it's not a horrible thing. I was doing a dry start method with organic potting soil mix and sand cap and Anubias, some crypts. Tried to get some baby dwarf tears going, as you can see in these little remnants of what is left of it. Did 6.5 weeks, to be honest with you, and saw bubbles coming up, thought the whole process was going well, and flooded the tank, and lo and behold, the process was nowhere near complete. Yay! And all of these huge hydrogen sulfide bubbles started forming and burping up all of this peat moss and BS all across. And I had just ordered $90 worth of plants, by the way, from Peabody's, and they are awesome. If you want aquarium plants, go to Peabodys.com. Peabody's Paradise. They're the greatest thing in the world. I swear. They will treat you right every single time. And, you know, every once in a while they'll throw in a freebie, which just rocks. I got floating plants. Actually, this is a bunch of more of HC. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just letting it float and make roots until I'm ready to plant it, because I'm still having hydrogen sulfide issues. I am assuming that since I did do a fairly wet dry start method, like the soil was definitely enriched with water, that my hydrogen sulfide issues are probably not going to be like months and months on end. They're more than likely going to only last a week or 2 or 3. But, you know, nonetheless, it doesn't matter. Everything's going to be fine. There's a couple of a couple of roots that rotted out and got black, but the plants are still living. They're forming new roots. Even these Anubias, new roots, forming new roots. So it's good. It's there's a little bit of HC just floating around. There's some Anubias nana petite just sitting there. You know, it's going to be nice scratches, but it's a used tank. What do you want? But that is Ammonia gracilis, which is supposed to do well in discus tanks at high temperatures, but this guy says they grow everything at 82 to 84 degrees, so I think anything I buy from them. Oh yeah, this is my freebie that I got. The Temple Narrow Leaf. There's 2 or 3 stems there, and then I have another one somewhere in that murkiness over there. Got a bunch of Ludwigia cuba, which you can see there in its immersed state, and that will shed all of its leaves and grow in submersed state, which is pin thin leaves, just odd, just 180 degrees different. But all this Anubias, it's growing new roots. It's doing fine. It's floating. I'm just letting it float. I'm just letting things float. Yeah, once the hydrogen sulfide started forming bubbles and burping, all of this soil stuff started coming up, and there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff there that still needs to biodegrade. So we'll see. I mean, it's just a process. It's not even kill. I don't have any fish in here, so it's a process. We'll get through it. Got my, canister filter doing its thing. And I also have peat moss in the canister filter, so it's even murkier on top of it all. But, I mean, that's not causing tons of stuff. Okay, so, you know what? Got my driftwood in there. Everything's planted. I had to put weights on the cuba because it did not want to sit. Hate that, but what are you going to do? Got a bunch of... Look at all those roots on that crypt there, and there's a whole bunch of crypts over here, brand new. I'm going to trim those down tomorrow and try to plant them, and hopefully the roots will just start oxygenating. I planted a whole bunch of dwarf hairgrass way back there that you can't see. It's way back there, blah, blah, blah. You know, it'll all turn out just fine. In 2 months, this tank will have several fish and hopefully several discus on the way. Not a couple, several. 5. I'm doing 5 in a 75-gallon tank. And I think 5 will be good with some cory cats and a couple of dwarf cichlids, and that's it. So, you know, my LED lights. Walking through wood. His name's not James, but it is wood. So, you know, tomorrow morning I will come out here and it'll be a lot clearer, but I'll probably have to burp the gravel again, or the substrate again, which will just cloud it up, but you know, it's a process, gotta do it. I've always said I love the science more than the fish, and that's true. I do love the science. I just hope it doesn't kill my $90 worth of plants. Actually, now we're at like $150 worth of plants, if not more. But love the temple narrow leaf. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to come in and I'm going to, hopefully when it's clearer, replant some stuff, and obviously let some stuff just float and be. And that's about it. And you know, you gotta let somebody love you. That's all Don Henley's saying there. So work in progress. By no means freaking out. There's our foster Pekingese licking her coochie. Hey, Zoe. Yeah, there's. Oh my gosh, what was I caught doing? Oh, there is our homegirl, Francesca, the corgi, and Jackson, the cat. Yes, everybody loves Jackson, huh? He's nice. Everybody loves the kitties. Huh. Okay. So anyway, yeah, just update is it's not a down date, but it is an update. It's gonna happen. It's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine. Not a big killer, not a big thriller. Everything's good. Everything's going to be great. And of course, when I'm done with this whole process and actually add the discus, this is a Phoenix Ray 2, and I'm going to add a Phoenix Monster Ray to this for color enhancement for the discus and the plants. It's going to be beautiful, but it's all awesome. Everything's good. Everything's great. No worries. No worries.